All right, pre-show shenanigans, boys. The wait is finally over. Everett, did you know that today marks the first Thursday for the rest of the year that there will be football on every Thursday for the rest of 2024? Everybody, quick round of snaps. Quick round of snaps. Everybody, quick round. The wait's finally done. It is football season. It is August 1st.
This is the true test of how hardcore of a football fan you are. Like if you are watching the Hall of Fame game tonight, like keep in mind, like all those guys playing are basically like very unlikely to make the team. Like this is their
Most of these
chance.
guys are rookie pickups,
Undrafted free agents like
undrafted
trying to make the
rookies,
team.
probably a good amount of former XFLers trying out right now. In terms of the quality of play, won't be the best football game. But guess whatever, that doesn't matter because
Still
we get
football.
to watch
Still
jerseys on the
football.
field. We get to watch a football being thrown. We get to see a football.
Yeah, can't say I mean, I know you haven't seen a football
I
since
have not seen a
since January.
football. I have not seen a football since Ohio State, Missouri. That was the last time I saw a football. Super Bowl, I didn't see a football in that game. I didn't see anything. NFL playoffs, I didn't see a ball. Last football I saw was Ohio State, Missouri. Okay, with
And
Lincoln
prior to
Key
that, Ohio State,
coming in
Michigan.
the second half. Not the greatest end of the season for me. Not gonna lie. Last year was awful. The year before was worse. The year before was worse. Georgia last second field goal and Jacksonville comeback. Yeah, that was a
and
way worse
and
year for
and
me.
lost to Michigan.
No. I didn't
You
even
got
want to
the
say.
trifecta that year.
Yeah, like
Although you did get COVID from Michigan winning
that
this
was
season.
last year. So
Well, that was this
shit.
past season, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's super funny. Like I I want to
I
go
mean,
back
I
and find that
genuinely
episode.
believed that my third straight loss, the only time I've lost three straight to Michigan in my life, I genuinely thought I was getting sick from a broken heart. I literally thought I was contracting an illness from a broken heart. Like I thought my body was shutting down because I lost again and I was such a sore loser and couldn't accept it. Turns out it was COVID. The sore loser aspect still very involved. But gentlemen, it is football season. August 1st officially means it's football season. And I want to send a quick shout out, thoughts and prayers to everybody, every high schooler going through camp right now, especially any high schooler, any freshman who is playing football for the first time in your life. My thoughts and prayers go out to you. Like when I think my first time playing football, like I went to an all boys Catholic high school where football's quite large. And for my freshman year, no bullshit, we had a grade of around 350 or so. There were 120 kids the first day of practice. Everett, guess how many kids were on the roster for the first game?
85.
120 to start. Actually, around that, like a little over 90, like low 90s. But a fourth of the boys dropped before week one. And keep in mind, August 1st to week one, there was probably a 3 week stretch. So
Yeah,
over the
it is
span of
3 week
three
camp.
weeks,
That's pretty
a
normal.
fourth of the team dropped
Now, here's
out.
my
And
question.
this is
I
freshman
have
football, okay? I'm
I mean,
talking about
here's the thing.
freshman football here.
So obviously, you guys all shaved your heads, right? So did they go through
Another
the
fun
head
thing.
shaving and then drop out
So
after the fact? Because that's even
that's
worse.
the worst. Because yes, there were a healthy amount of kids who shaved their head and literally dropped off the team within 48 hours of shaving it. So other little thing with my school, this is like probably the only accepted instance of just pure hazing I like at the high school. I'm going to get into a quick little story of some workouts and the
Oh
very
God.
first day of hitting. This could be a fun little pre-show, but yeah, we all had to shave our heads. It's just like a rule for football team all 4 years. Some other sports, they just make the freshmen shave their heads because the upperclassmen are evil. But football, they would justify shaving your heads, claiming that, the helmets fit much better with shaved heads. And I can understand that argument if it was like 40 years ago, but like when I was a freshman, I was getting my head measured. Like just at that stage, playing in Southern California at a relatively large school with some history, like, yeah, no, they had enough like, shaving your head, it was not for the helmets to fit better. It was a long-term tradition that they just kept. That's why. Uh, and so, yeah, we all had to shave our head. One little thing, which will tie into my next part, the conditioning we did. The rule for your shaved heads was uh, our head coach or some assistant will go by every single kid the day that you need to get your head shaved. We'll go by every single kid and take your little two pinchers and try to pluck. If they can pluck and grip a piece of your hair, you're running extra after practice.
Oh no.
And by running extra, I mean an extra 300 yards of bear crawls with up downs every 5 yards you get. I'm not lying when I say my very first day of conditioning, I threw up 5 times in the first 15 minutes.
Oh.
5. Now, side note, that was how I gained the respect of my coaches and teammates faster than anything. I would go hard as shit in a drill, boot my brains out, and then get back in line. Like, that's how you gain respect.
I respect that.
If you want to gain respect, that's how you do it.
Now,
like,
hey, just how to put out like a disclaimer. If you're listening to this and you are a freshman in high school or whatever, don't intentionally drink more water, eat more food to then boot and then get back in line. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You should be trying to avoid throwing up as much. And to be honest, the reason I was throwing up so much is because I did not do an ounce of conditioning leading up to camp. It was all my fault. Like, I have no one to blame but myself for all that. But we'd had some crazy bear crawls, and two quick little stories. First story, very first day of hitting. Of course, my psycho OC, which ironically he was offense coordinator, he played linebacker at my high school. He had graduated.
Matt Patricia.
Honestly, I would compare my coach to Coach Patricia to a degree. He was not an offensive minded guy, but for some reason he was OC. And very first day of pads, immediately after stretching, he calls for Oklahoma. And I was like, all right, he's trying to weed out the weak right now. He's trying to scare people. Very first drill we ever did. We had a pretty notable athlete play running back, this guy, Kevin Parada, who's currently in the New York Mets organization playing baseball. He was playing running back, and at linebacker was this other kid named Matt, who never played football in his life. Very first rep of Oklahoma drill, Kevin literally runs over Matt into the ground, like his face mat, like they're running together. Dirt. They're running at each other, meeting in the hole. Kevin hit Matt so hard he spun around and face planted into the dirt. That's where I already had great respect for Kevin at that time. He's the fastest human I've ever seen in my life. There's so many, like the fact he plays catcher, I still don't. I can't understand because he's so athletic. It boggles my mind having him crouch the whole game. But that happened. And then the very next play, we had two guys who, not like notable players, stars or anything. They go up and meet in their Oklahoma drill. One of the guys is going full speed. The other's going half speed. The other guy's scared. It's his first time ever attempting a tackle in his life. He goes to try to make the tackle, lands a little wrong, it breaks his fucking ankle. Literally his first ever attempt. We are 20 minutes into practice, breaks his leg, and immediately after it happened, head coach comes by, quickly checks on the guy, calls over the trainer comes, he pulls everyone else in that drill aside, and he goes, "Gentlemen, 5 minutes ago, I told you a story of the hammer and the nail. To be the hammer, not the nail. If you don't go 100%, you will get hurt playing this game." And he goes, "Poor Spears over here went 50%. 5 minutes after I told him you need to go 100% or you'll get hurt." And he left it off, be the hammer, not the nail, go 100% if you don't want to get hurt. If you think in your head, let me not go full speed so I don't get hurt. No, that's how you get hurt. Go full speed or you will get hurt. If you're going 50% and the running back's going 100, who do you think's winning? Who do you think's winning that? It's not very hard. Slight piece of advice
Turf
to my
monster is what's
warriors
winning.
out there.
Turf
But
monster.
yeah, no, I saw a kid break his ankle very for second ever hitting drill that I watched. But best of all, my head coach, really big World War II historian, massive, massive war historian. No bullshit, Everett. On the weekends, he would do Civil War reenactments fighting for the bad guys. That's what he did in his free time. He would LARP in the Civil War for
God.
the South. I
I was going to ask which side.
There's not
that
much
adds
more
up.
I need
Yeah.
to say. I
Yeah,
think
that adds up.
you guys have a pretty good idea of what this guy is like. It is the first day of Hell Week. And for that first day of conditioning, coach pulls us aside, end of practice, the whole team, all in a huddle. He goes, "Men, the date is June 6th, 1943. Allied forces are storming the beaches in Normandy, and there are bullets and cannons, gunfire overhead. Every time you hear a whistle, you need to hit the deck or your head is getting taken off by a cannon." We would sprint or bear crawl down the field because you can't be sprinting. Your head's going to come. You have to bear crawl. Got to
You in
stay
full
low.
pads?
Oh, yeah. Every 5 yards, 10 up downs. Actually,
In the
no, no,
heat,
no.
by the way.
No,
In
no,
the
no.
sun.
That's a different drill. I'm sorry. That was
It all
normal
blends
conditioning.
together.
Normal conditioning is bear crawl, up downs every 5 yards. Storm the beach is you start on the goal line and you sprint. Every time you hear a whistle, you dolphin dive, hit the deck on your belly. Dolphin dive. The amount of kids that would boot off of the ground impact on the dolphin dive was absurd. But you would sprint, dolphin dive, hit the deck. You hear the whistle again, immediately get back up, start sprinting again, another whistle, hit the deck, belly on the ground instantly. And we would do this for around 30 minutes.
Outside in the sun, by the way, in
It's
the LA
like
sun.
it is like 11:30 a.m., about to be noon, peak
On
heat
turf.
in summer. Storming the beaches in Normandy. I will never forget. I stormed the beaches of Normandy back
Chad
in
did too.
2016.
Chad
8
did
years.
too.
He did not, because he came
did not?
JV. He did not storm. That's freshman only.
That lucky motherfucker. Didn't have to storm the beaches.
Yeah, I went through that, and I also went through Burma Road, which is the route. I'm pretty sure along the Great Road of China, where they were ambushed, and pieces of the Burma Road were blown up, and would take away people.
Per
and
what
we
your
had
head
to
coach
run.
said.
We
Yeah.
had to run through Burma Road.
So here's my question: If for Normandy, if you were just fast, if you were Kevin, right, and you got all the way to the end, like the other side of the field,
You get a break.
you get a chill.
You get a reward if
That's
you're sprinting.
incentive.
Yes.
That's incentive enough for just
You got to
fucking
incentivize
sprint.
them some way to go
The
hard.
only thing that would be funnier is if, well, funnier, I say in quotations, not actually if you were in the middle of it, but if they were just,
objectively speaking, this shit is all hilarious. If I could remove myself for a
And just
quick
watch.
second and relive it, it would have
but
been.
I think the
crying.
funniest thing would be if you had GAs, I guess you don't have GAs, but just coaches along both of the sidelines just chucking footballs at you every time they blow the whistle.
That would be fun. So Burma Road is kind of like that, but instead of assistants, it's just the entire varsity football team is there
just
to haze
throwing
you.
balls.
So for me, with my background, my older brother went to the rival high school of where I went. And my older brother was a senior when I was a freshman and had many friends at my high school who were seniors on varsity. And let's just say my Burma Road was a little more fun for the varsity football team than some other guys' Burma Roads. I may or may not have gotten laid out multiple times during my Burma Road run. May or may not.
Did you guys do the run individually or like as a whole group?
In theory, it's individual. Like one person goes 5 seconons later, next person.
Next guy. Okay. All right, I got you. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I
objectively speaking, that was way
the worst conditioning
one
that I went through when I played football, because I stopped playing football like early. I didn't have a choice in it, but I did a whole camp that led into a fall camp. Like I had football camp in June in July and ended in August, and then you would go straight into fall
Yeah,
camp.
that sounds illegal against Kiwi rules, but okay.
Hey, it was an NFL sanctioned football camp.
NFL sanctioned camp.
Well,
Okay.
it was Kevin Williams's football camp, which used to be a defensive player for the Vikings. So it was like the Vikings players' football camp. I played quarterback. I was learning how to do basic, you know, under the
Like take
center,
a snap,
take a snap under the center. But like, keep in mind, at this point in time, like most people do shotguns.
footwork drills. I'm guessing.
Most people did shotgun though. So I'm standing there like I'm ready to get a ball in shotgun. They're like, nope, today we are doing under the center. I get my hand up in there for the first time. I was like,
that middle finger.
just
Right
get in
under
there. Get in there.
Like, yeah, like this is the fly hand for me. When I'm taking snaps, I like a little arch. Like I want my center to know I'm there. Want him to know I'm there. Just let him know I'm here.
The first guy that I had was like a full-on junior in high school, and bro put that shit. My fingers weren't set. Put that shit straight up. Just fumble first play. Like, all right, well, this is going great.
Oh yeah,
and I found one dude. I found
I
found a dude that was actually like pretty good and snapped it pretty lightly. I was like, this is great. And then like the next day, he was out with heat stroke for like the rest of the week. I was like, all right, well, that's not ideal.
Yeah, so, I mean, but to wrap football season for everyone going through it right now, I'm thinking of you. I remember what it was like going through my first football camp.
I mean,
but also at the same time, for every senior right now, I hope you live it up. Your last year, I hope you experience. I hope you get to live out all of your last dreams in high school this year. Go for it, dog. Go for it.
The first day of a fall camp that I ever worked for Tulane, we had like 12 guys need to get IV'd or dunk tanked after
this COVID
practice.
Year?
This was 1 year after COVID. So our sophomore year. So we had like 4 guys during practice. We had a dunk in the ice tank. We had 12 guys getting double IVs after practice. We had another 20 guys just chilling in the ice baths outside that I had to go set up myself. And then during practice, I had a dude, his thumb, bone straight out of his thumb, like meat of the thumb gone, bone going. So that was my introduction to D1 football. But
yeah, there was one instance where I had a teammate. He was got tackled or was making a tackle on the sideline. I still don't know how, but after he made the tackle, he just starts screaming his head off, and we're all like, "What the hell?" And then we look at his lower body, and his left leg was facing the other way.
Ooh.
To this day, do not know how. I have so many.
Gotta land on it weird or something. I don't know.
Like I literally, I was not lying, Everett, 5 feet away from it, and I don't know what happened. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 244. And we have an MLB trade deadline to recap. Dodgers actually made some moves at the end. It was getting dicey. It was coming down to the wire there, Everett. But Dodgers made some moves. Many other teams had some pretty notable moves as well. Garrett Crochet, probably the most talked about potential trade target, did not end up getting traded. But also it's football season. It is August 1st. I guess with the deadline, today is the last day where there will be this
MLB
much
gets
passion
to shine
over the MLB. This passion is going to quickly dwindle away. Like for example, tomorrow, I'm not sure who the Dodgers play this weekend, and I would doubt their series starts on Thursday anyway.
I think they play the Padres right now, at least.
That's
like the next series.
I'm like 60% sure we have a 2-game series of the Padres, and Thursday's an off day. But pretend we're playing Thursday. I still might be. I think I'm confidently picking the Hall of Fame game over the Dodger game. Confident.
Ooh. You're gonna watch Romo Dunze play. That's what's going on. Who is it?
Is
Texans?
He playing?
Well, probably not, considering Caleb Williams isn't. But
I wouldn't play Dunze if I was Chicago. But
I mean,
for a fan perspective, I hope he plays.
I don't know who's gonna be playing for the Texans though. That's the other thing. To be
I've
fair, I will
only
say, I mean, they still have Davis Mills, so at least their QB1 will be like somewhat of a known person, which is good.
I'm trying to think,
But
like, did they draft any Cade Stover? Cade Stover, big Thursday for Cade. Big Thursday for Stover.
yeah, I don't think that
I'll be locked in for that. But
I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? There may be a Tulane guy still in the Bears, so there might be something for me to pay attention to. Oh,
it's ball on TV. That's
it
what it
is.
really
That's what
comes down to.
matters.
It's
That is
football
not
on
a
TV.
video game. Yes, that really
Yes.
is what matters.
Real football on TV, not this NCAA with 9-3 Michigan being the 1 seed when there's 4 teams with
Don't
one
even
loss.
get me started on that. Nine and
Uh,
four, Michigan, for your information.
yeah, I mean, this episode may just quickly become a college football 25 discussion. So I'll save it for later. But yeah, I think the game is just anti-user. Whatever the user has, they will go out of their way to make sure you're not the number 1 seed.
I have yet to be the number 1 seed.
Like I've had a healthy amount of saves where I'll be undefeated Ohio State, and we're the 3 seed. 2 teams that don't have double digit, like literally 2 teams with 9 wins are the 1 and 2
No,
seeds. And I'm like,
I was
I beat one of
13 and
these
1.
teams that has 4
I
losses.
was like
How am I behind
13 and
them?
1, 12 and 1, beat Michigan earlier in the season. Then 9 and 4 Michigan came up from being the
Passes
7th
you.
seed to the 1st seed the very last week of the season after the conference championship. Like 9 and 4. I don't know. I don't get it.
One thing I will say though that I am kind of just realizing right now, the way they set it up, the literal seeding, like next to your name in game, that isn't the playoff seeding. So the
No, but
number,
they do
for
put
example,
also your playoff seeding and your
yeah,
normal seeding together in the bracket. So
yeah, in the bracket you see both,
you
but
have
like
both.
in game you just see the playoff ranking. And like, so for instance, Notre Dame, if they ever go 12-0 ever during this playoff era, which I know it's not going to happen, but pretend, guys, pretend it does. Pretend Notre Dame goes undefeated. If that happens, they won't be a conference champion. So at best, they're the 5 seed. I don't know how the playoff system will do it actually, but in theory, there could be a year where Notre Dame might be the 1 seed to the playoff, but they're the 5 seed in the bracket, if that makes sense.
No, that adds up because you need conference champions in order for
Yeah. I would say maybe it's just coded into this game. Big Ten and SEC champs are the 1 and 2 seed, no matter what.
Well,
It
I was
wouldn't
the
shock me if they
ACC
had.
champ and was the 2 seed, so
Okay, never mind then. Well, that theory died quickly, but yeah, I don't know exactly, but MLB gotta start off with baseball. Real quick before you get into deadline stuff, fun little trivia question for you today, Everett.
okay.
So Dodgers, we acquired a new guy this year, Shohei Ohtani. He's been pretty good. He's actually blown my expectations away. Like I
Saying
had
a
high
lot,
hopes.
actually. That's saying a
Uh,
lot.
I had high hopes, but I didn't actually expect him to. I think he's at 32 bombs right now, and we're like a little, almost 2/3 of the way through the season, like almost.
Yeah,
But
almost.
he's 32. He's on pace for 40 something, maybe 50. He's been crazy. And also, important reminder, everyone, we add him to the pitching rotation next year, and hopefully for longer down the line. But this year, Ohtani is just hitting the baseball. First fun fact of the day, Everett. Do you know how many DHs in MLB history have won MVP?
I feel like it's none, but I'm gonna say 1.
It's 0. There is no DH that has ever won MVP. Like, for the most part, MVP, it shouldn't just come down to WAR, but that's a very large and easy way to quantify. And if it's down to 3 people in the MVP race and one of them has like a 2 to 3 WAR lead over the others, we can't discuss it anymore. Give it to him. Done. End of discussion. So Shohei Ohtani, he only hits. That's the only way he can add WAR to his resume. For reference, like Mookie Betts, he adds like 3 to 4 WAR every year in defense. That really boosts his numbers up. Really boosts him up. Shohei, he doesn't have any fielding WAR, but Everett, I want you to guess what Shohei Ohtani's WAR is this year. I don't have it pulled up right now. I'll
So
check the
just yeah,
league-wide
pull it
WAR.
up. But I would. Can you give me like what the DH average WAR is, just for
Let me
comparison's
see
sake?
if I can find that. I think I should be able to.
Shouldn't be that hard to find. I feel like, because I don't want to say something that's so absurd, like out of the question. Um, but
Did they let me sort by DH? Come on, let me sort by DH. Okay,
I'm
there
just,
are 11 qualified DHs. If I were the median DH has a 1.1 WAR.
okay. I'm gonna say Shohei Ohtani is at 4.
4.
4.
So, 4 is actually Mookie Betts's WAR 3.9. That's Mookie's WAR right now, despite missing the past 30 games.
Okay.
Side fun fact: Mookie Betts has a higher WAR than Freddie Freeman this year, despite missing a whole month.
Wow.
And also, Max Muncy, I'm pretty sure, is 5th on the team in WAR, despite not playing since May.
Yeah, that's
Max
kind of a
Muncy
problem.
was on an absolute heater to start the year. Okay, in 40 games, he had
Is he gonna come
28
back?
RBI. Hell no. What the Dodgers have indicated to me this year is that they initially placed Muncy on a 15-day IL for like an injury that should take 2 weeks to come back. In my opinion, the Dodgers lied about it, acted like he was coming back, so other teams are thinking we're still competing. I think it was mind tricks that like we lied, saying we probably still today. If you ask Andrew Freeman, he probably says Muncy's coming back. He ain't coming. He ain't fucking coming back. What are you talking about? No, he's not. What? How can you say that? No, he's not coming back. I think we're just playing there, but Ohtani war. So 4 is 3.9's Mookie, 3.8's Freddie. They're second and third. So I just,
Okay.
hint, Ohtani's above 4.
5-1.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think you must think Shohei sucks. He has a 6.0 WAR, 5th in the MLB.
What?
6.0 WAR. That is ridiculous, folks.
But I'm going off of like a
Ridiculous.
DH. I feel like like a 5.1 for a DH is also ridiculous.
Would be ridiculous. Would be ridiculous.
So,
yeah, Shohei has a 6.0 WAR right now. It's genuinely unheard of. It's remarkable. And I'm looking, Aaron Judge has a 7.6 WAR, but on pure hitting numbers, Judge is hitting better than Ohtani this year. So if I were to guess, Judge's fielding WAR, so the gap between them is 1.6.
fielding WAR is probably.
I would say of that, Judge's fielding WAR, Judge is a nice fielder, but I'd say he's probably at like 0.7, 0.8 defensive WAR. I'd say Judge probably has like a 6.8 hitting WAR this year.
Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Different
and
stratosphere.
I feel like it's every year it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, Judge is truly unbelievable. Like it's a shame that when he was a rookie, he was like 26 years old. So it's kind of impossible for him to put up crazy record book career long numbers. But like if he was playing since he was 21, like yeah, he can make a case.
I mean, I will say comparison to like what you everybody says Mike Trout like is what Aaron Judge is actually doing, because Mike Trout is out every fucking year.
Wait, say it again. Wait.
Mike like Trout everything that people are talk about Mike Trout being as a hitter is what Aaron Judge is actually doing every season, because Mike Trout is out with injury every year, if that makes sense. Like everybody always talks about how Mike Trout is like one of the best hitters, like one of the best players of all time. Like
he is. That is true.
He is. That is true. But one of the greatest players of all time. Like He's also
everybody would be correct about that statement.
Yeah, I mean, not debating that, but everybody's always like, yeah, people talk about Mike Trout's like ability as a hitter. The problem is you never really get to see that much of it because he's always hurt. Aaron Judge, on the other hand, is not always hurt, and he's doing those things that people always talk about Mike Trout being able to do.
I take back on the not always hurt. Remember last year, Aaron Judge run into the Dodgers fence and missed 2 months. So gonna push back on that claim,
but on average compared to Trout,
objectively speaking, yeah, no, Judge has been more, especially recently, more durable than Trout. I will just say though, just looking at Michael Trout right now, he had, let me make sure I got this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11 straight years, averaging 120 games a season, so miss a month, which is normal. There was a 10-year stretch where Mike Trout's slash line was 305, 418, 592. He hit 350 home runs over his 20s. Please never try to disrespect Mike Trout ever again on this podcast. That will lose credibility quickly.
I was not disrespecting him. Let's clarify that. I was not disrespecting Mike Trout at all. Also, if
we'll move on to the next part, the trade deadline.
If I'm comparing him to anybody, I feel like comparing him to Aaron Judge is not that bad of a thing to do.
Yes, Judge is.
So I'm not.
I would say Judge's best hitter right now.
I also literally stated
Mike Trout's above.
There's no disrespect to Mike Trout, and that everybody talking about him being one of the greatest players of all time is accurate. I specifically said that. I was just talking about availability.
Yeah, but Judge is really available. Trade deadline, everybody.
So, let's start with this for the trade deadline, because there's news on his number that I want to announce. So the biggest asset for the Dodgers, biggest acquisition for the Dodgers, Jack Flaherty. All right, I'll let you get into that. The announcement from Blake Harris is he will be wearing number 0, Grant. Jack Flaherty will be wearing number 0. So I haven't seen a player wear number 0 before in the MLB.
Yeah, wait.
Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, at first I was just thinking Dodgers. I can't name a Dodger who was number 0, but now I'm thinking just baseball.
Can't name a single one.
Ottavino. Yeah, I knew that. Brandon Phillips for 2018 World Series. What? He allowed that in 2018. That's surprising. I think. Yeah, I mean, it's been a thing. I thought that was
I have not seen it in a really long time, if ever. Then.
Yeah, I feel like the whole 0 wave like really started like NBA. What was it?
Start with the NBA.
Westbrook?
The NBA
was Westbrook the first? Is Westbrook 0?
Westbrook was 0. I mean, it's been a thing in the NBA for a while, but Dame also was 0. Was Boogie ever 0?
I don't know why I think he's number 5.
I'm thinking he was.
I'll be honest. If we're talking numbers, I just realized I do not know numbers.
I'm thinking King's Boogie is number 0.
He was 0 on Warriors, Pelicans, 15 on the Kings. Yeah, I mean NBA zeros. Yeah, we see those.
I mean, like 0 for football started in college, and I've never heard MLB, but
who wears 0 in the NFL?
Marcus Mariota.
One example. Yeah, 0's not really a thing, huh?
There's a couple wide receivers I think wear 0. I think Calvin.
I think he just wanted 0. A single digit.
Marcus Davenport wore 0 last year.
Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure right now number 0 should be the only unretired single digit Yankee number. Should be,
yeah.
Unless that's also retired.
The Yankees seem like an organization that would forbid anybody from wearing 0 just because of the look of 0.
I mean, you know this. The Yankees, you're not allowed to have facial hair or hair
above. You can only have it above the lip.
Yeah, like because they're willing to do that, and you don't hear players complaining about it. If I think players, they're like honored that they have to shave for the Yankees. Like literally, they feel like it's like Jazz Chisholm the other night got traded the Yankees. We'll talk about him in a sec. Had a pretty nice debut in New York, but like his very first interview was like, I'm just happy to finally be clean shaven now that I'm a Yankee. It's like you could have been clean shaven in Miami.
That's the funny thing is I'm always
you could have
thinking about it.
shaven
I'm
back
always
then.
thinking about it. There's probably some dude like full facial beard and stuff that's like, I want to shave. I want to shave, but I'm thinking,
how many people have called off a Yankees trade because of their beard?
I don't know, but I'm thinking the inverse. I'm thinking somebody really wanted to shave, but they were like, I can't do it.
It's a part of their brand.
It's a part of me. So let me get traded to the Yankees, so I have to do it. Like that's what I'm thinking.
I just want to make sure I have this correct because please tell me he played for the Yankees. Okay, this is perfect. Do you remember a closer on the Giants where after every save he would point to the skies and do this? Do you remember who that is?
I don't, but okay.
Shit, I just exposed you for being no baseball for you in the early 2010s. But Brian Wilson, the beard. If you remember him on the Giant, you don't remember. Okay. For everyone who watches baseball out there, Brian Wilson, beard man. We all remember him on the Giants runs, on their World Series runs in the early 2010s. In 2013, he was going to sign with the Yankees until he remembered their rule on the beards. He did not sign with the Yankees, and the reasoning was, I won't shave my beard. Ironically, though, Everett, a few years later, Brian Wilson joined the Dodgers. When he showed up, he shaved his beard. Maybe it wasn't the Yankees. Maybe the beard was an excuse to not go to New York.
If he immediately started sucking too right after shaving his beard, that would be even better.
Brian Wilson said, quote, I prefer to keep my facial hair no Bronx for me. That was the quote. Kind of a legend. I respect the hell out of him for that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, yeah, ironically, he joined the Dodgers that year and showed up with a shaved beard. But yeah, no, that's our go.
All right, let's get back to this trade deadline.
Jack Flaherty wearing zero, interesting. But the Flaherty trade. So real quick, who we gave up? Gave up Trey Sweeney, and I keep on forgetting the other guy's name. Shit, do you have it?
Trey Sweeney and
I always forget the other.
Well, we got Kopech, Edelman, Flaherty,
Thayron Lorenzo. Okay, so let's talk Flaherty trade first. Sweeney and Laurent. Sweeney, one of our top-ish or just semi-notable middle infield prospects. And Thayron Lorenzo is a catching prospect. Now, Lorenzo's 21, not having the greatest year this year, but overall, last season pretty nice in the minors. Had like a 970 OPS. That was our number two. No. Number two catcher in the organization, behind Rushing, ahead of Cartaya. This is another trade deadline where we held on. We got rid of Lorenzo. We had three catchers.
Yeah, we didn't give up. I think we
signed Will Smith
prospect.
But Will Smith, we just signed him to a 10-year, $140 million deal, which pretty nice value if you ask me. But we have our catcher locked up for the next decade. Which in my eyes makes Dalton Rushing, Diego Cartaya, and Lorenzo expendable. But if I were to rank the expendability rankings of those three, Rushing is not for sale. Cartaya is a million times more expendable than Lorenzo.
Ideally, I mean, like, I ideally still think that after this Austin Barnes experiment, like having a second catcher that is very good on ARB for years, like a Dalton Rushing would be, I think that's like you have to keep one of them.
So do you want us to replace Austin Barnes with Dalton Rushing to be the backup catcher?
I mean, would you want to do that? Because I think
that's stupid as fuck and so stupid. I'm not going to have our catcher play 30 games a year in the MLB and sit. That is so stupid. That's called wasting contract time. You're burning.
I'm not
all of
saying
your
doing that
years
right
with them.
now. I'm saying in the future.
Dalton,
Like
well,
that,
hey,
it's not the point.
I'm not directly coming at you. This
That's
is an
not
argument
the
I have with
point.
my parents.
The point. Like
Dalton Rushing is our number one prospect in the farm right now. Pretty sure he's 23. Let me check, because boy, please, please don't tell me he's younger than me. Thank God. Thank
I was gonna say he's 22 or 23.
Dalton Rushing is like eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on him. Pretty sure he's a lefty bat too. I mean, he mashes him. Keep our eyes on the prize. We want to lock him up long term. Delay him from getting called up. Him not for sale, not tradable. Cartaya has been passed now twice over the past like 3 or 4 years. When we started the pod, I was number one proponent Cartaya, not for sale. Not for sale. Not for sale. Nope. But that was also under the assumption we wouldn't keep Will Smith. Shout out to Will Smith.
Yeah, we've been working that for a while.
Family man, 10 years, 140 million. Oh my God, dog. You're my catcher. You're my catcher for life.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, the original thing would have been Will Smith. You pay him DH money, you get him to DH, which he would never do because he wants to be paid catcher money. And then you bring Dalton Rushing or Cartaya up, and now that's not the case anymore because he signed a 140 extension for 10. So, I mean,
yeah, right now I'd say Dalton Rushing, you keep him down there, and there may be a day where preferably Rushing learns a new position.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's one thing I'll say, Will Smith, like for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, not the greatest literal catcher.
No, yes. But
this year, he's significantly stepped it up. He's somehow improved pop time, made significant leaps this year where I have complete confidence in Will Smith catching.
I mean, look, like the point that I was prior trying to make was Austin Barnes' contract expires soon, right? So in the future, okay, even if we have Will Smith locked down, you're gonna want to have a guy who can come in. So Will Smith, when Shohei comes back to pitch, he'll be DHing or whatever, right? But at some day, you have Will Smith can take a day off or something, or if you move somebody around like a Dalton Rushing, you can have him play catcher. You can move him to third base or something. Like there's alternate opportunities for a guy like that compared to a Cartaya or compared to a Lorenzo, something like that.
For my backup catcher, that's a guy we signed out of free agency. Austin Barnes, yeah, I'm done with him. Hey, he's low-key been pretty nice this year. But pretty sure he's under contract for we have a club option with Barnes next year.
Which hopefully
if it were up to me, we're probably going to keep it. He's the backup catcher. He plays maybe 40 games a year, if even. And of those 40 games, 10 of them are pinch hits in the 8th inning that he comes in to catch 1 inning. For the backup catcher, genuinely the least important position on the team. The backup catcher could be my uncle. I do not care. I do not care. As long as you can catch a baseball, go for it. If we called up Cartaya or Rushing to be the backup catcher, play 30 games a year and burn contracts to have him sit there and not develop.
Yeah, I'm not saying
calling for heads.
I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying do that soon. But if you get into a point in the season where something needs to happen, like it's not the end of the world to me. Like I'd rather have quantity there and have that opportunity. But I'm not saying like do that this second. I'm not saying do that next year. But I am saying that if any of them you were going to keep around to be in a situation where something like that is going to be the case, it would be Rushing because he has the opportunity to do that. But also you're not keeping him around to be the backup catcher. That's not the point here. The point is he has the ability to catch, but also move to another position that he might be
that's not true.
For.
He's only played catcher ever in his career.
I'm saying compared to a Cartaya, which one do you think would be in a better situation to do that?
I have no idea. I don't know how they are at fielding.
Of
all three, I would trust Will Smith the most to change a position because he's the most athletic. But Will Smith he's really good at catching now. He's really good now. Asked me 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah, bro, can we?
I mean,
I mean, the bat is
like
there, so he's
I
the
will
best catcher
say
in baseball. But
I did momentarily, like when I first brought it up, I momentarily lapsed at the point that Shohei Ohtani was still DHing. I was like, yeah, you can give Will Smith some time off, let him DH and have Cartaya start, or not Cartaya, Rushing start. But then I realized Shohei is DHing still, so
yeah, that position's inked up. Shohei is the DH every single day.
forgot that the NL no longer has a pitcher batting. So
Yeah, it's been out of the league for a little bit now.
it's been a minute.
I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest, the DH move that completely screwed over our roster construction. Chris Taylor, 15 million with no DH in the NL makes a lot of sense. Now it doesn't.
Yeah,
Platoon
he's got
was
what
quite
two
popular
years
back in the
left
day.
on it, 1 year left on that contract.
I believe 2.
Yeesh.
And his contract,
Not
he has
offloading that
no
one.
option. He has no send down clauses. If they want to option AAA, he can decline and stay on the team. Like, it's very Chris Taylor friendly, extremely Taylor friendly. But let's talk a little bit about the trades a little more. Okay, Jack Flaherty is a Dodger. Jack Flaherty this season has been excellent. This has been second half 2021 was the best stretch he's ever had. I believe he put up like a sub-1 ERA second half post All-Star break in 2021. Absolutely ridiculous. But this season, Flaherty has been absolute nails. I'm getting this right now just to make sure I have this.
No,
correct.
he has been very good and has been one of those guys that it's one of those guys where like he's always been like a name people recognize, but have never been like, yeah, give me him. And this year people are like, oh no, I want Jack Flaherty. Like, give me him at the deadline.
I will push back on that. Also, he was hot to start, really hot. A couple recently, there have been a lot of hiccups. Don't get me wrong. 100%. Right now though, he's looking very nice. It's also a contract year. He wants to perform and get paid. He hasn't gotten paid yet in the MLB. But underlying data, here's what we're looking at. He's 88th percentile in pitching run value, 96 breaking, 88th xERA, 80th x batting average, 94th in whiff, strikeout, and walk rate. Those are the elite numbers right there. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of whiffs, not a lot of walks. Good sign of success when you don't let players put the ball in play. Flaherty right now, 32% strikeout rate. Nearly a third of his outs result in a strikeout. That is crazy. 4.6 walk rate. Under 5% of his batter's
It's
base.
kind of exactly what the Dodgers needed right now.
Yeah, I mean, objectively speaking, when it comes to playoff baseball games, you can't allow base. We want clean strikeouts. Okay, I was gonna say clean innings. Forget that. Strikeouts. What's the best kind of out? An out where they don't even have a chance to do anything. You're just out.
No There's pop flies, no sacks,
There's
nothing.
No play. No one gets to run. You're just out. So strikeout pitchers, we want those guys. And I also, baseball is just one of those sports where I'm convinced situation drastically changes a pitcher's mentality. Coming from the Tigers to the Dodgers, he doesn't have much run support. I was about to say he has good run support. That's not true. I guarantee Flaherty's first 5 starts, it will be a 0-0 ball game in the 5th inning for all 5. And he'll be like, why did I come here? But he's been a Dodger fan his whole life, Harvard Westlake boy with Fried and Giolito. But I just feel like hometown team coming home, you're now, I mean, as of right now, it's him over Glasnow in terms of at least today who's performing better. Glasnow will definitely be the one for the playoff rotation, but at least right now and as of July 31st, Jack Flaherty's the best pitcher on the team. And I think he's going to live up to those expectations. He's now has these expectations to solve our pitching problems. I think he's going to live up to it.
No, I'm thinking here. I'm just thinking Glasnow's back. Glasnow's 1. Okay, Jack Flaherty comes in at 2. Kershaw's back pitching now as well. Who are we wrapping up? Is River Ryan
Pretty sure
still up or not?
Yamamoto is going to come back,
He is
and
going to
he'll be
come
the
back.
3.
Three. I mean, River. I don't know if
Kershaw will
River stays up or
probably end
not.
up just being the 4 if healthy. We'll see.
Bobby's
But
going to stay down.
regardless,
Bobby's staying down. We're not calling him back up.
got to keep our eye on him. The career might be over already.
Yeah,
so
we didn't even go to a game for him. I want to say it's
wasn't
not
even
our
us.
fault. Not our fault.
Wasn't even
Okay.
us.
That actually means like he's just bad. But I guess maybe River stays up or Stone comes in for 5. Like I don't.
Oh shit, dude. Gavin Stone's the 4.
Yeah, then Kirsch is
I
5.
forgot about Stoney. Stoney's been. I mean,
Been tearing
recently
it up.
Stone's had
He's
a
been
little,
tearing it up.
but overall,
all
for
season, he's
4
been tearing it up,
pitchers,
yeah.
sign me up for Gavin as the 4. Kind of weird though that I'm still projecting towards October, assuming Yama comes back and stuff. But Flaherty, Glasnow 1-2, just them 2 is very big for wild card games. Like that first series, anything could happen. Anything could happen. And first series now. Shout out the MLB. I mean, in a way, getting bounced first round long term might be our best solution because then the MLB will change the playoff format. If we get bounced first round again, the MLB will change.
You think that they'll actually care if the Dodgers gets bounced?
Yeah, dude, this is awful for the MLB. Last year's ratings were so bad. 86 Diamondbacks.
I mean, Diamondbacks.
Who even won the World Series? I literally am blanking.
Rangers?
Yeah.
It was Diamondbacks and Rangers.
Talk about a more forgettable World Series. I mean, like, yeah, they desperately want Yankees Dodgers. That's how they stay semi afloat right now in the current sports landscape.
Has there been a MLB team that's three-peated?
Don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably
I feel like
Yankees,
they probably beat the Yankees, but I just started thinking about like the MLB fixing things. So I was like the NBA would fix things, and then I started thinking about Lakers and Celtics, and then that got me
there. MLB World Series 3-peat. Yeah, there's been 4. I'm stupid. The Yankees literally did it 2 years before we were born.
Really?
We're stupid. The Yankees have done it twice. Yankees have 3-peated.
Who's the only other team? Who's the only other team then?
Why don't you take a wild guess? Maybe this will finally have you stop disrespecting this franchise.
What, the Angels?
No, the Oakland A's.
Hey. That's not my problem. That's not my fault that I disrespect them.
I remember there was one time where you were coming at the A's for their lack of playoff appearances. I was like, A's have made the playoffs
recently
most times in the past 20 years.
I had said recently because they hadn't really done anything. I know in the early 2000s they were going at it, but
I don't know, man. I just caught you on Brian Wilson earlier. I don't know.
Brian, what do you mean?
The bearded pitcher, you already forgot about it. We're already past that. But Flaherty
I mean,
it's
a known fact that I did not pay much attention to the MLB until like recently. Those were my
just
NFL
say
years.
You were well aware the A's were nice.
I can be aware of things, but that doesn't mean I know individual players. I mean, I've caught you on
a couple of things today on baseball.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What you didn't know Brian Wilson, dude?
That's not
that
a crime. Knowing that the A's did well in the playoffs, and knowing that the A's did well in the playoffs, is a completely different thing. I could be skimming. I could be skimming something, and be able to recognize a team's record or success. You don't need to be following it closely like you would be to know a player or something like that. Like that's different,
dude. Brian Wilson was everywhere, Everett, everywhere.
Okay.
It's all right. Well, we're moving on.
Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know what to do. What do you want me to say?
You expose yourself.
I'm not exposing anything. I've stated that this was the way things have been.
You didn't know who Brian Wilson was.
That's not a fucking problem.
It is. You not knowing it's a problem exposes how little you know about ball. You don't know ball.
I know recent. Like, that's the point. I've stated multiple times.
You do not know ball.
I've stated multiple. I don't know.
You do not know ball.
I don't know every single instance of stuff from like 16 years ago. But in the same vein that I know,
So
okay, if we want to go that route, I know things from the NFL from 25 years ago that you would have zero
a
idea
hundred
of. So
percent,
you don't know ball in that
a
way
hundred.
either, if we want to go that
True,
direction.
true.
So that it's not necessarily saying like I don't know older ball. Yeah, that's 100% true. I know general things. I know history of the MLB when it comes to records and when it comes to playoff performances and stuff as a general
What do you
note.
mean? What do you mean history of records? Huh?
Like meaning like how well a team would have been doing 20 years ago. Like I
Well, that
know,
seems pretty difficult.
well, no, like you know a general
How
like
were the Milwaukee Brewers 20 years ago? What?
well the point is you are aware if a team was generally good or generally bad from a while ago. Like
Okay.
12 years ago, were the Kansas City Royals good or were they bad?
Well, I'm gonna ask you this: were they good or bad 12 years
They were
ago?
good. 12 years ago, they were good.
They were
That's the
good.
point. That's the
They
point.
were.
There's general things that you can be aware of and know, but you might not know every little detail about the NBA or the NFL or the MLB, but you're aware of the general things.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I just felt a little bit of confidence out of some of these claims a little bit earlier on some of these guys. Were a little interested. Don't think you are 100% confident saying some of those things. But back to the Dodgers. Yeah, Flaherty trade. We didn't really give up shit. If
We
anything,
didn't really give up shit in any of these, to be honest.
none of these. Also another thing. We acquired Kevin Kiermaier for Ryan Yarbrough. I want to quickly just point out, first things first, we DFA'd Ryan Yarbrough about 2 days before this trade.
We kind of did the same thing with Paxton,
we were not
too.
Yes, exact same thing. We were not planning on keeping Paxton or Yarbrough. I know they're our second and third lefty pitchers on the team with Alex Vesia, who we taught Gurley. We'll discuss that in a second. But those were our other two lefties, but even pre-moves, we didn't want to keep them. And once again, having some people ask me, well, how we get rid of Ryan Yarbrough? He was Ryan Yarbrough. If Ryan Yarbrough pitched for the Dodger Blue in October, I'm out. I'm out on this franchise. What? Like, people are upset. That's like, we got rid of Ryan Yarbrough and Paxton. Like, they're awful guys. They're really bad pitchers.
I think there's more confusion.
We're lucky to be afloat right now with them pitching.
I think there's more
long.
confusion surrounding Paxton because he started off the season like okay.
This is the thing about
and
Paxton.
We did sign him.
This is the thing about Paxton. The thing about Paxton is he was the 5 starter, which, you know, it's in its own right. He's a 5-star, but the bigger key of that is he goes up against the other team's 5 starter, which means when Paxton pitches, that's the best day for our hitters to hit whenever Paxton's on the mound, because we're going up against the other team's worst pitcher. So Paxton has the best run support on the team. Every single time the Dodgers get to face a 5 pitcher, we're gonna shit on that dude. All right, like once a week we'll explode for 8 runs. That's against the 5 starter.
Well, and then we'll lose to the Padres because we let up 6. So,
but other thing about Padres, they're 6 and they may be 5, they may be 6 back after last night, but in a range of 5 to 7 games back. The Padres, what they've done this year, they've gone full on big game, focus on tough opponents. Against teams over 500, the Padres have an above 500 record. Against teams below 500, the Padres are below 500.
So they play up and down, is what you tell me.
Yes, but they strategize around it too. They will give a Yu Darvish, a Dylan Cease extra days of rest, so they pitch against us, and they will force their other starters to have short rest and get shelled by the Oakland A's. Okay,
so you're telling me they're Max Scherzering all their
by the Chicago White Sox.
They're Max Scherzering all their.
They're Max Scherzer. It's Max Scherzer, Walker Buehler all over again. So the Padres, like right now against us, they're gonna show up. I don't know who's on the mound. It's probably C's. He threw a no hitter
Today,
like 3 days
today,
ago. He's probably pitching tonight.
yeah, today
Uh,
it's I'll look, but it's Kirsch versus I'm assuming C's.
I
Um,
I I hate seeing Kershaw face San Diego. They own him right now. Uh,
let's see.
but
Kershaw and Dylan Cease. Yep.
yeah, I'm not lying when I say Everett. I literally think Dylan Cease threw a no hitter like 3 days ago. Like he's
Well, let's
pitching
look.
on short rest after a no hitter. I think.
Um, last 7 days, 0 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, 9 innings pitched, one
What
shutout.
date? What date?
That would have been the 25th.
It was that long ago.
It was last Thursday. But keep in mind, that's
Oh,
a full week of rest that he's getting before he pitches.
oh no, he got extra rest. Well, yeah, actually, no. The point still stands. They
But
skipped the
yeah,
start, so
I mean,
Cease
look,
would get to face
he
us.
he has not he's allowed 1 hit in the 2 starts prior to that, so one on the 20th and one on the
So you're telling me
13th.
given
He's allowed 2 hits through his last 3
okay.
starts.
Yeah.
The last run he gave up was 4 starts ago.
Yeah, no, I thought you said he's given up 1 hit in his last 3 starts, which would imply he's had 2 starts where he didn't give up a hit.
No, yeah, he's had 2 hits
Yeah.
allowed and 3 starts, which is
But
still
one
pretty
hitters.
good. Like
No,
he's had a shutout
ridiculous.
essentially, like
Cease
or
is
close to a
crazy.
shutout in each of his last 3 starts.
Yeah, no, Cease is nuts. That's a name where it hurts that the Padres acquired him. Actually, while we're talking about the Padres, we could leave off with this. Padres trade for what was one of my favorite targets to go after in this deadline. Lefty reliever Tanner Scott out of Miami, hard throwing lefty. This season he might be the best lefty reliever. Hader's not having the greatest year. Actually, he is. Tanner Scott has a 1.18 ERA this year over 45 innings. The San Diego Padres traded for Tanner Scott. Everett, I'm going to tell you everything they gave up for Tanner Scott. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you what Tanner Scott's contract situation is. Everett, guess when Tanner Scott becomes a free agent.
2 years.
2 years. Make that 2 months. Tanner Scott is a free agent after this season.
Okay.
So with that in mind, and a reliever, relievers are quite volatile assets, if I may. Like maybe 2 years of certainty they'll be elite, but there's no guarantee after that. Relievers either run you into the dirt like we did with Vesia when we Todd Gurley'd him, or you just get scouted, you get figured out. After a while, MLB teams gonna have a nerd studying how you pitch against all their players, and they'll learn how to hit you. But with all of that in mind, him being a reliever, 30 years old, about to be on contract, you would think, probably not going to give up that much for this guy.
For a team that might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and for a team 6.5 games back, like, this is probably not a guy we'd want to give up much for. Everett, I'm going to tell you the numbers, rankings that the Padres gave up prospect-wise. They gave up number 24, number 5, number 4, and number 2 for 2 months of a lefty reliever.
Do they get anything back besides Scott?
Other relief pitcher, Brian Hoeing.
This is why I'm so happy I'm not a Padres fan.
Now, one thing I'll say about Hoeing. Hoeing has a 2.7 ERA in 16 appearances. Another relief pitcher. Pretty good.
Yeah, not
bad. But
bad.
once again, we're talking about relief pitchers here. They gave up 2, 4, 5, and 24. For number 2 for the Padres was the 44th prospect in baseball. So because the Padres are willing to give up this much, what this signals to me, I'll give it like another 48 hours till Tanner Scott gets extended for another 6 years. But that will make me smile deviously, knowing that this guy could be awful in 8 months. 2 years from now, I have no idea how good he's going to be at pitching. Like, Dodgers perspective long term, like Bruzdar, when he's up for contract extension, you know what I do, Everett?
See you later.
We thank you for your service, Bruzdar. We thank you for all your years in Dodger Blue. I will never forget when you took that ball and chucked it into the top deck for absolutely no reason. Will always be in my mind. But no, it's stupid to re-sign him. It's idiotic. These guys,
I will say, as a
awful bet.
long term, the reliever in-house candidates that we have, not great.
Yeah, no,
like that's problematic.
But the thing about relievers is, I don't know if there's any team in the MLB who's like, this is our closer for the future. Like, I guarantee the best reliever in baseball in 4 years from now is probably currently a starting pitcher, Double-A in the Chicago Cubs organization. And one day he's gonna have a hard conversation with his pitching coach where he's like, "We're moving you to the pen. You can't get through 70 pitches without dying on the mound. We're making a move." And the day that guy truly accepts his role is the day he can go be great. Shout out Emmanuel Clase. He accepted the closer role when he was like 22. Shout out to him.
And in some ways,
the hardest conversation to have as a pitcher.
I will say, in some ways, though, think about it this way: might not be starting, but at least you're not the middleman. All right, like they're asking you to be the closer, like the game in your hands.
I mean, for reference, like, hey, every pitcher on Double-A pumps 100. 4 of those dudes will be in the pen within 5 years.
No, literally
in our pen.
How many guys, how many starters pump 100 on like an average pitch? Not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. Shit, speaking of 100-mile-an-hour flamethrowers, we also acquired Michael Kopech. A guy not quite like a well-known guy. He had a really good season last year. This year, he hasn't been necessarily amazing. But what
still
really
better than what we got.
Yes, yeah, upgrade. What attracts me the most about Kopech, though, is the underlying data with him. First things first, his fastball velo has gone up by 3 miles an hour this season compared to the year before. That's a quite notable increase. Pretty interesting. I have it right here. 2023, his four-seam averaged 95.2. This season, his fastball average is 98.6. Went up 3.4 miles an hour. I don't even know how you do that at the age of 28. But he did. He added 3 miles an hour. And in terms of the underlying numbers, so he's 99th percentile fastball velo.
Makes sense. Yeah.
90th percentile in expected batting average. 86th percentile with 92nd K. Remember, relievers, strikeouts. Don't even put the ball in play against him. And that extension stat, 87th, that we went over recently, is like the stupid stat no one cares about. But the underlying data is there for him. And I think it's a somewhat Flaherty effect, although Flaherty was still elite in Detroit, where he's just going to be pitching on a better team. He's going to have better defenders playing behind Chicago's, I think, worst defense in the MLB. Kopech, it's just going to be, he's going to have a good time pitching in LA. Simply put, he's going to have a good time.
I mean, it's just interesting because like thinking about it in that way, like there are people, obviously every sport you think about statistics and you look at all that stuff, but you never,
baseball, of course, it gets super amped up. Yeah.
Super, right? But you never think about the thing that's right in front of you, which is literally just the team. You're talking, like, you know, keep in mind, like, okay, like Detroit or the White Sox, whoever, like, they suck. They are not good. They are not good defensively.
I'm not good offensively. I'm not lying when I say we trade Miguel Vargas to the White Sox. I think he might be the 4th best player in that organization today, skill-wise. We're not talking potential. I'm talking today. I think he's the 4th best player in that. Like, the White Sox just got rid of everybody, ironically, except the 2 guys who were actually valuable. They traded away everyone except Crochet and Luis Robert.
One doesn't want to be there.
Dude, Robert's made it quite clear. Like, he doesn't even try playing center.
Who was the center fielder that we traded to them a couple of years ago?
To the White Sox?
To the White Sox. He was like
maybe our back. Trace? Maybe Trace Thompson,
No. This was like our backup, like center fielder.
AJ Pollock.
Yes. I don't know if he's still there or not, but
Pretty sure out of the league.
yeah,
Pretty
that
sure
would add
Pollock's
up.
done, but I miss him so much. That was a dog. But yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting deadline. I think overall though, like Kiermaier move, getting Rosario back, it's like they were very cheap acquisitions. Where if it doesn't pan out, guess what? It doesn't really matter anyway. We didn't give up anything
Cash
for them.
considerations.
Yeah, no, cash consider, which I still want to see a disclosed cash considerations tray. I want to know, does that alleviate salary cap? I need
What
to
goes?
know
Is
exactly
it
what it
the is it
involves.
the vending machine in the
Yeah, because
lounge?
hey,
Like,
cash considerations that
God,
could
I
be
mean, if
$15. I
if
don't
they
know.
if
It
they
could be
allowed
30
that if
bucks.
they allowed that in the NFL, maybe the Cardinals wouldn't have the worst cafeteria in the entire league. Like,
That also is
you got to
uh,
pay for food.
you're telling me Marv has to pay 50 cents for a banana? Like what? Like you have
Got
to
to get the
pay a
potassium up.
dollar to pay a dollar to like go grab your apple in the morning? Like what? Like it costs $1.50 for a water bottle? Like
No. That's too
I'm the
cheap.
star wide
That's too.
receiver on the team,
It
dog.
costs at least nine
Yeah,
dollars
that
for
was
a water
crazy
bottle.
for me to say a dollar
At
fifty. What the
least
hell?
$9.
Maybe
Like, I'm
15 years
thinking,
ago,
I'm literally
maybe.
thinking MLB concession stand prices.
No, they know they can pay, so they add a little surcharge too for
Yeah, you got a
handling
little
fees.
service fee for
Yeah,
the administrators.
for service fees. Gratuity included. It's like what? I'm tipping for my water bottle that I grabbed out of the fridge myself. Yeah, I mean, Arizona. I mean, problems on problems, but yeah, what a deadline. Interesting moves. I would say the last little thing. Jorge Soler is back in Atlanta. Watch out, everybody. Watch out.
Yeah, I mean, Jorge Soler's back, but also Jazz on the Yankees
Yeah, I
been
guess we
putting up
didn't really discuss
numbies.
it.
I just
Yeah,
want to say,
phenomenal.
just with Aaron Judge's bat that first day he came in, didn't have his own bat, so he just borrowed Aaron Judge's, proceeds to hit 2 home runs in the same game.
You
Like,
know that
it's
that's a
pretty
story that
good.
he will. When Jazz is a grandparent one day, he'll be telling his grandkids every single time you see it. It reminds me of my debut in the Bronx when I hit 2 bombs with that guy Aaron Judge's bat. He's a pretty good baseball player, not as good as your pop, of course, but Judge tried his best when we were out there. But Jazz, like with him, it's like I knew the Dodgers could not go after him with his history with Rojas.
Yeah.
And recently, Jazz has not been a great baseball player for the past 2 seasons compared to what he did in 2022.
He was playing center field for the Marlins, right?
Well, he started off playing
Shortstop.
second,
Oh, I thought he
second and
started off at
short,
short. Yeah.
technically short. Quickly got moved over second when Miguel Rojas showed up in town. And their beefs all started. Rojas
There.
replaced him.
Yeah.
They're now middle infield duo, but they hate each other. I bet every time I need to go look up at some Rojas Chisholm double play turns. I bet Rojas is bulleting that shit straight to Jazz's face. Like,
Just right here.
yeah, no, I bet they're messing with each
There
other.
or
Like,
down
purposely
low.
taking extra steps so they can't pull off the double play. Like literally, I would not be shocked if they were doing
Get an
heady
error on
stuff
the
like that.
second baseman.
Yeah, and Luis Ariz catching at first, just like I need to get out of here tonight. I'm done with this shit. But
God.
no, yeah, like actually, oh my god, it started off Ariz at second, Jazz at short. Then Rojas shows up. Rojas gets short. Jazz moves to second.
And Luis goes to first.
Luis goes to first. Everyone rotate one spot over. And then
God.
they were just eventually at the end, they were like, yeah, no, Luis, like you need to hit every day. We can't have you missing any days. We're just gonna DH you now. You need to hit every day. You can't miss a day.
I don't blame him.
And
I
Jazz,
do not blame them.
please try to stop making headlines. We're trying to flip you like right now. But like, if you say one more bad thing about a teammate, it's gonna be really tough to trade you, dude. Really tough. But yeah, interesting moves. Like, not the craziest deadline. It's not like we see a so.
I mean, it is not the Max Scherzer
Trey
Bauer,
just
Trey
what the
Turner
hell?
deadline. But this is a bet I would say is objectively more interesting than last year's deadline. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's something. It's something to chew on. But I think we'll wrap up here. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, and on Twitter at Waterboy Pause. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett6 and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode. We also post on TikTok and on Instagram. So check us out there for exclusive content. We're starting a new live streaming series on TikTok and on YouTube. So if you want to catch up, watch it on YouTube and watch on either platform when we're live. With that, we'll see you guys next episode. Waterboys out.